Volvo Estate. Those two words go together so well, it's like fish and chips or salt and pepper. After the word Volvo comes the word estate. Today I'm in a mid-noughties Volvo V50, which is the smallest estate car that Volvo ever made, based on the Ford Focus just after Ford had bought Volvo. It's a really nice little estate car, and back in the day the general public in the UK at least agreed because it was Volvo's best-selling car. Sold more than the S40, which was the saloon version of this car, and more than the C30, which is the hatchback. If you ask your average person would they prefer a Volvo saloon or a BMW saloon, they'd probably pick the BMW. But if you ask them if they prefer a Volvo estate or a BMW estate car, they'll probably pick the Volvo. It's a great design, it's a great looking car. I think Volvo did a good job given that it's quite small. You know, a small estate car must have been quite difficult to design. They made it look like a Volvo. They gave it the big chunky shoulders, which, you know, goes all the way back to the Volvo Amazon. I just think it's a really nice looking car, especially in this kind of like sporty trim with the nice alloy wheels and the metallic blue colour, which has got to be one of my favourite colours on a car, that dark blue. The light clusters at the back, which run the length of the boot from the top to the bottom, a Volvo signature of that time. The interior and dashboard of this car, for me, has got to be up there with the all-time great interiors of any car. It's absolutely brilliant. If IKEA designed interiors, this is what they would create. It's got that minimalist Swedish style to it. Not only that, but it is really easy to use because it's not got that many buttons. Ergonomically, it's really good. The buttons are a little bit small. What Volvo and maybe the press called the floating center console, which it's not floating, I don't know why they call it that, but it is cool because you can put your hand behind the back of it and there's a little bit of storage there. It's not massively practical, but it just looks brilliant. Then the rest of the dashboard is dead simple. You've got these really simple dials, lovely Volvo font that they use. All the screens, like the ones in front of you, the little trip computer which tells you all the various bits of information you need to know, and the one here in the center console, although it's old-fashioned and looks like something out of a Game Boy, it is actually really good because it's dead soothing. It doesn't blast your eyes with light at night time. All the graphics are simple, everything just works. With this being a higher spec car, I've got lovely leather everywhere. I've got comfortable leather seats, there's leather in the door cards. You've got two nice big cup holders here in the center console. You've got quite a small glove box and the tiniest little door pockets which can fit basically nothing in them. For an estate car, the front of it is not hugely practical. I like the key, it's different. It's got a little yellow button on it which when you're out and about and you come back to your car, you can set the headlights on so you can see where the car is, and the interior lights come on as well. And then it's got the little red panic button triangle which sets the alarm off, and it goes in the dash here on the left hand side, which my left hand is not used to doing. Quirkiness. Famously or infamously, this car is based on a Ford Focus. The thing to remember first of all is that the Ford Focus Mark II is a good car, so it's a good platform to start with. It was a good handling car, it had a good chassis. It feels like a Volvo, it feels well built, it feels luxurious. All the materials and things are solid. As I'm driving along now, this car's done 75,000 miles. There's no creaks or rattles. A very pleasant car, you know, the ride quality's nice. As I just cruise along, it's a very smooth and quiet thing. You see, this car, it makes an absolutely fabulous cruiser. It's really smooth and well planted, and you know, its performance at higher speeds is effortless. Although it is a practical car, it's definitely on that luxury side. It's got a luxury feel to it that you know, you get from cars like Mercedes, BMW, Audi, Lexus. It's definitely towards that end. It's not on the Ford Focus end of proceedings. There were, of course, many different engines that you could get in the V50, some of which were from Ford, so they were like Ford Focus engines, and they were the four-cylinder ones. At the other end of the scale, you had the T5 and the D5, so the five-cylinder Volvo engines, the T5 being the rocket ship of the day, which Ford also put into their Ford Focus ST, because they stole that engine from Volvo. And in this car, I'm pleased to report that we've got a Volvo engine, and it's a five-cylinder. It's the 2.4 litre, not the turbo, not the T5, but it's an interesting rare car, and coupled with a manual gearbox. It's a five-cylinder engine, so of course it's got torque. When you put your foot down, oh, yes, boy, listen to that, just listen to that. Now, it's not the absolute fastest car in the world, it'll do 0 to 60 in 8 seconds, but sounds brilliant, quiet, you know, because it's a luxury car, it's quite a muted sound, but Oh, very nice, very nice. And interestingly, I don't have a 6th gear. I feel like I should, but it's still, I think it's still geared all right. Like, yeah, at 70 miles an hour, it's just under 3,000 RPM, so about average, really. Of course, that Ford Focus chassis means that, you know what, this car handles quite nicely. It's quite surprising, you know, it's got good feeling steering on it, despite being a comfortable car and good ride quality. I think they got the balance just right. So, what's the back of the Volvo V50 like? Hiya, pal. Yeah, no worries. I have actually got legroom sat behind JJ, 6 foot tall, and I've got headroom. In this particular car, I've got a booster cushion, so I can sit up high, like that. Oh, now I've not got so much headroom. That's quite a cool little feature, isn't it? Integrated into this car. Should not be used by children less than 3 years old. Better put that back down. 12 volt socket in the back of the armrest. I've got a little armrest here with cup holders in it and a little flat cubby hole which could probably fit a smartphone. Pockets on the back of the seats. No door pockets. Grab handles. Damped, of course. In the back, you've got quite a nice square load area. Now, it's not the biggest in the world, but with these seats down, pretty spacious, practical car, as you might hope from a Volvo estate. So I got him a gift. Here you go, mate. What's that? Well, thanks. I mean, what is it? A greenstone dragon. It's an antique. Presumably now you're going to be an antique dealer in this Volvo estate car. Oh yeah, very funny. But I mean, thank you. It's very nice. No worries at all. It's Volvo story time. When I was a kid, my parents had a Volvo 240. They were dropping me and my brother and a friend off at school. The friend, just as we was getting out of the car, she opened the door onto a brand new, at the time, Ford Mondeo, the mid-90s Mark 1. It was not good. Horrible crunching sounds ensued. Hit the door that my friend had opened, unfortunately she'd not got out. Scraped and mangled all down the side of that Mondeo and it just looked a state. As I was walking away off to school, not my problem anymore, my dad can deal with that. I remember him shutting the back door. You could see the end of it had crumpled a bit, but the door just shut and off he went. It didn't mess up the B-pillar, it didn't wreck the car, and it didn't even like break the door back on its hinges. Those cars were tanks. This Volvo V50 is no different. Volvo spent a lot of effort and time and engineering on making this car a safe car. It's got a 5-star Euro NCAP rating, which goes without saying, it has to have that. High level of side impact protection. You've got airbags everywhere. Volvo also implemented this thing called the Intelligent Driver's Information System. When you get a phone call in this car, if you were in the middle of some maneuver, like hurtling around a corner, or you were accelerating hard or braking hard, Volvo would know and it would hold the call back up until you are in a more steady, pleasant frame of mind to take that call and you're not concentrating on sending this car around the corner at some crazy speed. It definitely passes the turtleneck test, which is, do I feel weird in a turtleneck driving this car? And no, I don't. I think it really is a suitable attire for this vehicle. And I've been lucky with that in the last few reviews because I did a C6 last time, and a Citroen C6, and that's a turtleneck car. And then a Saab 9000 before that. If a car is a turtleneck car, then I'm guaranteed to like it. It's well built and it's practical. I think they're pretty reliable from what I've heard, especially the Volvo engines. They're the ones to go for. As always, the bigger engines are better. Sounds amazing. It's not very economical with the petrol engine, but you know, you could always buy a diesel. D5 recommended, because they sound quite nice too. A massive thank you to Zach from IGM Pedigree Motors. Now, he's not actually selling this car this time because it's his mum's car, so thank you to Zach's mum as well if you're watching. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end, and I'll see you in the next video.